For 40 years, South Dakota has been showing its appreciation to law enforcement with a wild game feed. This year's event is November 10th at the Ramcota Exhibit Hall. Besides honoring law enforcement, the event is also an opportunity to raise a lot of money for children's charities.
40 years ago, when my dad was the U.S. Marshal for South Dakota, he had this idea to bring law enforcement officers together and have a dinner.
Since 1982, law enforcement officers from across the state have gathered in Sioux Falls for a wild game feed. It was a way to thank them for their service. Scott Abdallah, who is honoring his dad's wishes by keeping the event going after he passed away in 2019, says the first year started out really small.
I think it was about 40 or 50, so it was just a small group of folks that got together to have some wild game.
The event became so popular, it quickly grew in size to 2,000 guests made up of law enforcement and business leaders, and is now held as a major fundraiser.
So to date, this event has donated millions of dollars to children's charities in the Sioux Falls community. Again, all started from that original dinner 40 years ago.
They also donate bicycles every year that have been refurbished by inmates.
At the end of the event, law enforcement then from all different communities across the state will collect these bikes and take them back home to their communities and then give them to less fortunate children in their communities who might not otherwise have a bike. So again, a great way for law enforcement to build trust with children at an early age.
Abdallah says these days, that's more important than ever.
While other states are criticizing and attacking and dishonoring their police, we're celebrating the 40th annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Dinner where 2,000 people come together to thank law enforcement.
They'll also announce the William Janklow Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award. Keynote speaker for this year's event is Fox News anchor Pete Hegseth. There will also be performances by country music legends Kelly Lovelace and Neil Thrasher.